I used to believe marriage was something permanent, something that once built would simply hold. My name is Daniel Carter, and I learned that love can be real and still be broken by betrayal. I was married to my wife, Emily Carter, for 7 years. From the outside, we looked stable, a normal home, shared routines, familiar comfort, the kind of life that makes people assume everything is fine. And for a long time, I believed it was fine too. But stability can hide distance. Emily began to change slowly. At first, it was subtle. More time on her phone, private messages she didn't want to explain, conversations that ended when I entered the room. When I asked, she always had explanations. Work stress, old friends, nothing to worry about. I wanted to believe her, so I did. Because sometimes trust is just choosing comfort over curiosity. But eventually, the emotional distance became impossible to ignore. She stopped sharing her day with me, she became present in body, absent in spirit. It felt like I was living beside someone who had already begun living elsewhere. The truth came through what I was never meant to see. Messages between Emily and the man named James Walker. James wasn't just another man in her life. He was her first love. Before me, before marriage, before responsibilities, there had been a younger version of Emily who had loved him deeply. Life had separated them. Timing, circumstances, distance. And for years, I believed that chapter was closed. But it wasn't. When they reconnected years into our marriage, something dormant in her was awakened. Not necessarily a better love, just a familiar one. And familiarity has a dangerous way of disguising itself as destiny. When I confronted Emily, I didn't shout. I didn't break anything. I simply asked her if it was true. She didn't deny it. There was no immediate confession of full honesty, only fragments, emotion, confusion, and justification. She said she never planned it, that it started as catching up, that she didn't expect feelings to return. But what she was really saying was simple. She let the past back into the present and didn't stop it when she should have. That was the beginning of the end. We divorced a few months later. James Walker, her first love, was not a mystery to me anymore. He wasn't a villain either. He was simply the person her unresolved past chose when she stopped protecting her present. After the separation, Emily left quickly. I stayed in the house for a while, but it no longer felt like a home, more like a place where a life had already finished, even if I was still walking through it. The hardest part wasn't anger, it was disorientation, learning how to exist in a life that no longer included the future I had built around someone else. I didn't rush into anything new. I couldn't. Trust doesn't reset on command, so I rebuilt structure instead. Work, routine, discipline. Quiet days that slowly became manageable again. Over time, survival turned into stability, and stability turned into something resembling peace. Nearly 2 years later, I met someone new. Her name was Sophie Williams. Sophie was not dramatic or overwhelming. She didn't compete with the past or demand explanations for every scar. She was steady, in a way that made honesty feel safe again. At first, I kept my distance. I assumed closeness would eventually repeat the same pain. But Sophie didn't force anything. She simply remained consistent, present, reliable, calm. That consistency slowly did what intensity never could. It rebuilt trust without demanding it. Eventually, I told her about Emily and James. Sophie listened without interruption. When I finished, she didn't judge my past or question why I stayed so long. She simply said, "I'm not here to replace what you lost. I'm here to build something real with you now." That was enough for me to believe again. We married quietly a year later. Life with Sophie Williams is steady. Not perfect, not idealized, just stable in a way that no longer feels fragile. There is no guessing, no emotional distance disguised as normalcy, just clarity. Years after my divorce, I heard about Emily again. Her relationship with James Walker, her first love that she had once lost and later rediscovered, did not last. What felt like destiny eventually collapsed under the weight of reality. Familiarity without growth cannot sustain a future. Eventually, Emily reached out. Her message was careful and reflective. She admitted she had confused emotional history for emotional destiny, that she believed reconnecting with her first love meant returning to something pure, only to realize she had abandoned something stable for something unfinished. She apologized, and then she wrote, "I thought I was going back to love. I didn't realize I was leaving behind something that was already real." I didn't respond. Not out of anger, not out of pride, but because my life had already moved beyond that chapter. I was married to Sophie Williams. I was living forward, not backward. And I finally understood something simple. Some people don't lose love because it disappears. They lose it because they failed to protect it while it is still theirs.